So welcome back, guys. Now the other session which are dealing with about what is reciprocity. So to explain reciprocity, we already dealt in theorems. So I'll reframe that once again for you. Let us take this is a T circuit. So I'm having a source here. I'm keeping a source here, and I'm saying this is a two-port network. Now it is two-port network, right? Convinced? This is two-port network. This is node 1 and 1 dash. Let us take this 1 dash, and 2 dash. So for reciprocity, what I'm doing is source. I'm keeping the source, and then shorting this. In reciprocity theorem, what we did is and a response I2. Let us say this is the response I2, this current in loop mesh 2. Okay, this is I2. So this is input voltage. Let us say this is Vs, that is equal to V1. So I did this circuit equation. I did the mesh analysis I1 and I get I2. I got I2, and then the response which has got is Vs by I2, some value. So let us say some value. Okay. The response, so response of input to output, you got this one. Again, what I did, I replaced this same circuit. I am having the same circuit. Okay. I replaced this input source to second output source. A value of same Vs. So that is equal to V2. And I'm shorting this input port, that is 1 dash, and now this is current. Let us say this is I1 and this is I2. So here the response I'll be getting is Vs by, so input to output response, that is V1. Okay. So for reciprocity, what is can the reciprocity means? The response to or input to response or output to input response should be equal to same output to input or input to output response. For the same circuit, if we replace the terminals, if we say get the same responses, then it is called reciprocity. Okay, this is about small circuit. Okay, now what about the Z parameters, Y parameters, two-port network circuits? So I'm saying, for example, if I consider the same circuit, that is same circuit N, I replace this same as N, and this is N. Now, to justify the reciprocity for different parameters, what are the assumptions we need to take? We'll look now. So I kept to find the response I2, I kept this shorted. That means output terminal is shorted. That is V2 equal to 0. That is, I'm shorting this output terminal. Okay. Now, by shorting this output terminal, again, I am getting response from circuit to output. In general, we are conventionally having that current should be flow from output to input network. But to specify reciprocity theorem, we have to consider the current like this. That is, the naming of this current is I2 dash. Okay. So generally, keep in mind, friends. Same current will flow through this element and this element. Assume some element is there here. In general, in output to input terminal, we take current I2. But to find reciprocity conditions, we need to take response I2 dash, some other value. Therefore, I am confined to this path, downward path, and naming that as minus I2 dash. Okay. Now again, in this case, the output terminal, input terminal is shorted, and I am taking the direction as minus I1 dash, and again V1 equal to 0. Here V1 equal to 0. Okay. These are the assumptions for reciprocity theorem. Again, I am refining it. For this circuit, the assumptions we have is V2 equal to 0 and I2 equal to what? Minus I2 dash, and B1 is Vs. Okay, the same source I am keeping from input to output here. Now here what happens is V2 equal to Vs and I1 equal to minus I1 dash and V1 equal to 0. Okay, these are the main tools to find reciprocity theorem, and we need to find the response. So individual responses, that is Vs by I2 dash should be equal to, if Vs by I1 dash, that is input response to output of this network and output response to input to current of this network should be equal, then only reciprocity theorem is satisfied. Now we'll do the Z parameter thing. So Z parameters you have. So what are the Z parameters you have? V1 equal to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2 and V2 equal to Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2. That is naming as equation 1 and 2. So substitute that equation in V, these assumptions, substitute assumptions above equations. So from 1 you get, so V1 we are replacing as same, V1 equal to, so there is no, so V1 is replaced as Vs and Z11 I1 is replaced as what? How will represent I1? So here I1 is same confined to I1 like this only, there is no change. Now Z12, so what about I2? So what is I2 is here minus I2 dash. Okay. Now from 2 you have V2 equal to, what is the V2 here? 0. So V2 equal to 0, Z21, I1 equal to what? You replace I1 as same and Z22, I2 is replaced as I2 dash. So what do we require actually? Vs by I1 dash. See carefully if any chance we have Vs by I1 dash. Yes, we have in this equation Vs by I1 dash we have. But we have obstacle of I1. So we can replace the obstacle of I1 from equation 3. Let us take this in equation 3 and equation 4. So from 4 you have I1 equal to minus Z22 by Z21. So I1 equal to, so you get this is equal like right, I2 dash. Substitute it I1 equal to I2 dash in the equation 3. So from substitute I1 in 3, you will have Vs equal to Z11, I1 is replaced with Z22 by Z21 I2 dash plus Z12 minus I2 dash. So again we replace Z21 common, you will get Z11 Z22 minus Z12 Z21 by Z21. Okay. So Vs, we require Vs by I2. So Vs by I2 will be having a value of, so we take Vs by I2, we will have value of Z11 Z22 minus Z12 Z21 by Z21. Okay. Now you got this Vs by I2 dash as this value. Now again substitute these equations, this assumption. Now we remove that this source and replace that their source, and again we short circuit this. This is the same circuit. For this circuit we substitute the assumptions in 1 and 2. So from 1, substituting this equation, you will get. So from 1 you will get V1. So what is the value of V1? V1 is get affected. Substituting. So substitute assumptions in 1 and 2. So you get V1 equal to 0. You place that 0 equal to Z11. So Z11 is replaced same. So I1 is replaced by minus Z1 dash plus Z12. So I2 is replaced with, no, I2 is not affected, therefore we keep I2. So again, substitute the equation in the equation 2. So in the equation 2, what happens here? So V2 is replaced as Vs equal to Z21. I1 is replaced as minus I1 dash plus Z22. I2 is replaced as I2. So we require the response as Vs by I1 dash. So from equation, let us say this is equation 5 and this is equation 6. From 5, you have, so we need I2 equal to Z11 I1 dash by Z12. So substitute I2 in equation 3, you will have Vs equal to Z21 minus I1 dash plus Z22 Z11 by Z12 into I1 dash. So make I1 dash common, you will be getting Z11 Z22 minus Z12 Z21 by Z12. Okay, so Vs by I1 dash equal to Z11 Z22 minus Z12 Z22 by Z12. Okay, so equating this Vs by I1 dash, you got this equation. Equating these two, what you get? You will cancel those things, and finally you will get obtained Z21 equal to Z12. So this is a reciprocity condition for Z parameters. Okay. So Vs by I1 dash is this value, and Vs by I2 dash is this value. We will equating both these things. We will cancel numerators and we will equate the denominator. After equating the denominator, you got Z21 and Z12. Okay. In the similar fashion, we will do about y parameters. That is so. So y parameters you have y1, v1, I1 equal to y11 v1 plus y12 v2, and I2 equal to y21 v1 plus y22 v2. Now substitute these equations in 1 and 2. Let us say this is 1 and this is 2. So substitute v2 equal to 0 and I2 equal to minus I2 dash, and v1 equal to vs in 1 and 2. From 1 you have, so substitute this here. So we have I1 equal to, so I1 is not affected anywhere, and y11, so v1 is replaced as vs plus y12, v2 is replaced as 0. So this is equation, let us say equation 3. Now from 2 you have I2 equal to what? I2 is replaced as minus I2 dash equal to y21, v1 is replaced as vs plus y22, v2 is replaced as 0. So we need vs by I2 dash. So directly in this, from equation 4 you have, from 4 you have vs by I2 dash equal to, so vs by I2 dash equal to what? Minus y21. Okay. And now we will go to this thing. Substitute our assumptions here. Our assumptions are y1 I1 equal to minus I1 dash, and v2 equal to vs, and v1 equal to 0. Substitute assumptions in 1 and 2. From 1 you have, So replace 1 with I1 dash minus I1 dash equal to y11. V1 is replaced with 0 value plus y12. V2 is replaced with Vs. So from 2, I2 is replaced with what? I2 is replaced with no other element. So I2 is common, normal one, and y21. So V1 is replaced with 0 plus y22, and V2 is replaced with Vs. So we need Vs by I1 dash. So from this equation, let us say this is equation 5 and 4, 6. From 5, we have Vs by I1 dash equal to minus 1 I12. You got this thing and you got this thing. But we need the response as Vs by I1 dash as you got y121, and we got Vs by I1 dash as minus y12. So creating both in this form. So finally you obtain the y parameter characteristic, that is y parameter condition for reciprocity is this one. So finding this condition is not a big deal. So for giving a circuit, if you find y parameters, if you show that the y parameters is y12 and y12 equal to y21, then only you will find that the given circuit is a reciprocity circuit. Okay? Then we'll go to solve h parameters. So whatever the parameters you take, the same story runs. The main thing is you need to keep in mind the assumptions. So what is the assumptions we are doing? What are the experiment you are doing? What is the reciprocity means? What is the equation means? The reciprocity definition is inside located with these equations. Okay? So we'll go to h parameter thing. So what are the h parameters you have? Yeah. So we have V1 equal to h11 I1 plus h12. So I2, V1 and I2 are relevant. So h12 V2 equal to h21 I1 plus h22 V2. So these are the h parameters we have. Now this is equation, let us say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So substitute our assumptions in 1 and 2. So from 1 you get, so V1 is replaced as Vs, h11 V1 is replaced with I1, I1 is replaced with I1 only, so h12 V2 is replaced with 0. Now from 2 you have I2 as minus I2 dash equal to h21 I1 plus h22 V2 is replaced with. So we need Vs by I2 dash. So again Vs by I2 dash. So how we will get? So directly. So Vs by I2 dash. So any chance of getting Vs by I2 dash for this parameter? So directly equating. So from these two equations, that is Vs by I2 dash means we will get h11 I1 by h21 I1. So we minus, we'll transfer this. So therefore you get h11 by h21. Okay. So this is the expression for Vs by I2 dash. So let us see once again. So we have V1 and I2 as the dependent variables, and I1, V2, and so h21. So if we replace that, I1 with Vs. Okay, I1 with Vs and h11 I1 and I1 is replaced with and V2 is replaced with 0. Again the same story runs. Here I2 is replaced with minus I2 dash and H21 I1 H22 V2 okay 0. We need Vs by I2 response. So this is numerator and we have the equation H11 I1. Okay, we'll cancel that. So similarly, okay, fine. Now we'll go to this circuit, these assumptions. So what are the assumptions we have? We substitute the assumptions. Substitute assumptions in 1 and 2. So substituting the assumptions, you get substituting V1 equal to here 0, and again H11 I1 will be minus I1 dash plus H12 V2 will be replaced with Vs, and from E2 we will replace with I2 is replaced same represented same, and H21 I1 is replaced with minus I1 dash plus H22 equal to V2 replaced with Vs. So we need Vs by I1 dash. From here this circuit V1 by Vs by I1 dash, we need Vs by I1 dash. So directly from equation, so let us say this is equation, from this is equation 3, this is equation 4. Now directly from equation Vs from equation 5 from 6. So we need Vs by I1 dash. From equation 5, you have Vs by I1 dash equal to H1 by H12. Okay. So see, so we got Vs by I2 dash as H11 by H22 and Vs by I1 dash as H11 by H22. So replace this equation here. So this is H11 by H21 equal to H11 by H12. We both cancel the numerator. You will get H21 equal to H12. So this is a condition for reciprocity of hybrid parameters. Okay. So we'll move to ABCD parameters. So ABCD parameters, you have ABCD parameters. This is V1 equal to V2. So what are the dependent variables in ABCD parameters is V1 and I1. So that is equal to A. So this is will get V2 plus V minus I2, and here C V2 plus D minus I2. Okay, this is equation 1. This is equation 2. Substitute assumptions in 1 and 2. Substitute assumptions in 1 and 2. From 1 we get so V1 is replaced with Vs plus A into V2 is replaced with 0 plus B I2 is replaced with so here I minus I2 is there, so we replace I2 with I2 dash directly. Okay. Now from 2 we have I1 is not changed here, equal to C V2 is replaced with 0. You already know that now from now, and D into I2 is replaced minus I2 dash is replaced with. So simply if you have I2 equal to minus I2 dash, minus I2 will be equal to I2 dash. That's why I replaced that. So we need Vs by I2 dash form. So Vs by I2 dash from equation directly from equation, let us say this is 3 and this is 4. From these you have Vs by I2 dash as B. Okay, keep this aside. we'll use here. Now similarly, substitute these assumptions there. So we have substitute assumptions in 1 and 2. So V1 is replaced with 0 equal to A into V2 is replaced with Vs plus B into minus I2 is replaced kept like that only. So there is no I, so minus sorry. I2 is minus I2. Now I1 is replaced with minus I1 dash equal to C into Bs plus B into minus I2 is replaced with same kept is same minus I2 only. Now we need Vs by I1 dash, that is Vs by I1 dash we need. So for this we have obstacle I2. Therefore I take from 5, 6. From 5 you have we will abstract I2 dash as I2 equal to A by B Bs. Okay? Now substitute this I2 in this 6 equation. From 6 you have minus I1 dash equal to C Vs plus D into, so minus is replaced here, minus A by B Bs. Take common Bs, you will have CB minus AD by B. So we need Vs by I1 dash. So Vs by I1 dash will be given by V equal to, so you are having minus, we'll keep that minus to there. So therefore this is become minus and this will become plus. Therefore AD minus BC. Okay. So we need Vs by I2. So we bring B there. So equating this thing and this thing. See, from Vs by I2 dash we got B value that equal to Vs by I1 dash. It is B by AD minus BC. You cancel both these things. Therefore AD minus BC equal to 1. So this is a condition for ABCD parameters to be reciprocity. So what are all the things we did is basing on these assumptions only. Without taking these assumptions, we can't move further. Okay? Now, so finally, we draw one chart here to indicate the reciprocity and symmetry of the circuit. So we'll take this as Z parameters. So Z parameters, finalizing the Z parameters, Y parameters, H parameters, and ABCD parameters. This is a symmetry condition and the reciprocity condition. So these are the set of symmetry and reciprocity conditions. So simply for Z parameters, you can memorize like this: input, output responses. So input parameters, input impedance, and output impedance. If input impedance and output impedance of a Z parameter is equal, it is symmetry. And if you transfer admittance and transfer impedance of input output equal to symmetry, and that H equal to 1 is a symmetry condition of A, and A equal to D means ABCD parameter. So the transfer impedance equals means it is reciprocity, transfer admittance means reciprocity, transfer H parameters is reciprocity, and that of ABCD equal to 1 means reciprocity. Okay. So this is the overall discussion about symmetry and reciprocity. So you will be getting the output. So for any circuit, you will do these assumptions and okay. Thank you guys.